Hello everyone, welcome back to the Looney Bin. My name is Looney, and today's video concerning Final Fantasy VII is about a debate that's going on currently on social media, specifically on Twitter or X.com, and it concerns the live stream sequence that's going to happen in Part 3, as well as from the original game. So if you have not played Rebirth, if you have not played the original, just to let you guys know, there will be spoilers in regards to those. So I highly recommend, just be careful because you will probably, I will talk about specific things that happened during it. So this is your fair warning. And also made a separate video about the live stream sequence that you could definitely check out. I'll post a link down below. You could watch, pause the video, go watch it, or, watch it after this video. But the debate is centered around where in Part 3 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project will the development team essentially make Cloud realize that he did not save Aerith during the finale of Rebirth. Now, I know there's still a debate whether or not she's alive or dead. For the sake of the argument for this video, we'll just say that she actually did die in Rebirth, right? And part of what happens in Rebirth is that many people theorize that Cloud doesn't realize that Aerith did die, right? That he believes that he saved Aerith during that, very famous scene. And while I do think personally that there is part of Cloud that does realize that he did not save her, I think in general he doesn't realize it because he doesn't want to accept it. It's something that is like a Cloud's defense mechanism when it comes to loss, where he tries to lock it away or forget or not remember something like that. It's similar to how the situation with Zack. And I think part of me thinks that Cloud does know, but he's still hiding it. So the argument is that some people believe that the realization that Cloud did not save Aerith should be taking place in the live stream, as part of the whole thing with the live stream sequence with Cloud trying to find the real himself and Tifa helping him, right? I'm going to give you my own personal opinion on the matter because I truly do love the live stream sequence. It is by far my favorite sequence in the original game, so I'm super excited for it in Part 3. In terms of, having the realization that Aerith did die during the live stream sequence, I think it wouldn't work. And I'll tell you why I personally believe it doesn't work. And that is because the live stream sequence is not supposed to be like a moment where Tifa goes through all of Cloud's, trauma, goes through all the things that Cloud is trying to hide or anything like that, and what caused him to get there. I don't think adding it to the live stream sequence, should happen. I don't think it should. Mostly because the live stream sequence is a healing sequence. It's not supposed to be a sequence where it just causes and dumps more trauma onto Cloud, because that doesn't heal, right? You're making the task that Tifa has to do a little bit more difficult, because if you just dump all this trauma, how does that help Cloud heal? Like, having the realization that he did not save Aerith is just going to make Cloud go deeper into this really tough mental breakdown he's going through, right? This identity crisis he's going through. So having that moment be in the live stream sequence, it wouldn't work at all, in my opinion, because it's a healing. It's supposed to heal Cloud. What I think when it should happen is during the North Crater, when when Cloud is getting closer to the North Crater where Sephiroth is, when Cloud gives the black material to Sephiroth in the OG, that's when you could have the realization that Cloud did not save Aerith, because that's when he actually has this huge mental breakdown where it causes him to just go into this state where he's like in a coma, right? And that's how Tifa and the others find him in Mideel. I probably said it wrong, my bad. But Mideel, where he's in a coma, he's in a wheelchair, he's unresponsive. He has a bunch of Mako poisoning, but it's just more than just a Mako poisoning. It's literally him having a mental breakdown. It's just all that trauma that he has experienced, the identity crisis. You could have him, realize that Aerith is dead, that he didn't actually save her. You could have the whole thing about how they're trying to make, him think that Tifa is a fraud, a fake. All of that could happen in the North Crater, because that just dumps all his trauma, everything that he has gone through, everything that he doesn't recognize, everything that he thought was truth is nothing but a lie, and everything just dumps it at there, and that's when he has that mental breakdown. That's when it should happen, in my personal opinion, because at the end of the day, it leads to that healing process that happens between him and Tifa. And I know people want to have the developers add Aerith into the Lifestream sequence as a way to help him heal. I know that it comes from more of a shipping aspect. I also know it comes from like a character aspect where, like, some people are fans of Aerith, and they want Aerith to be part of that healing process for Cloud. To me, here's the thing: the Lifestream sequence to me is not just about Cloud; it's also about Tifa, right? It's also about them coming to their own character arc conclusions about all the trauma that they had with what happened with Nibelheim, with Mount Nibel. All of that is going to be part of that healing process. It's not just a Cloud healing process, it's also a Tifa healing process. Majority of the reason Tifa is involved is because Tifa knows the real Cloud. Part of Cloud's, mental breakdown and all that trauma he experiences is that he doesn't know who he is. We see it during the Gongaga scene where he doesn't understand. Like, he thinks there's multiple people inside him. He doesn't know where it begins and where it ends, right? That's part of the healing process. Tifa's the only one who can actually identify the real Cloud because she knows who the real Cloud is. Remember, in the events of Crisis Core, what happens is that during, at the reactor, Sephiroth, gets stabbed by Cloud, right? And then eventually Cloud gets stabbed by Sephiroth. Once again, they go back. Sephiroth, falls down into the reactor, and then Cloud is found by Shinra troopers, and essentially he's now in a tube where, he gets, but they try to heal him, but he then gets experimented on by Hojo. Understand that everything after that, Zack brings him over to Midgard, Zack dies, Cloud awakens, Tifa finds him, he awakens, and now he has this persona. Not all of that afterwards is this persona that we are seeing, not the real Cloud, because the real Cloud is locked away into Cloud's subconscious. There are parts where he slips out, the real Cloud slips out. We see it in Rebirth where, like, there are moments like when he defeats Dio, right? You see him getting excited, right? That's the real Cloud. He's slowly, slipping out, but he's still in the back. He's still behind this persona that he's portraying, the whole thing with Genova and even Zack's memories, but he's all the way in the back. And part of the Lifestream sequence is Tifa trying to push through those things to get to the back where the real Cloud is. And all of that can only happen with the memories of the real Cloud, and all of those real memories don't come from the journey that he's on. It comes from the past. It comes from the incident at Mount Nibel. It comes from the Nibelheim incident. It comes from when, he even just talks to Tifa on Water Tower, right? Those are the reasons why we see those moments in the Lifestream sequence in the OG, because those are the memories and the moments of the real Cloud. Having the moment where, like, he experienced or makes that revelation that he did not save Aerith will not help the real Cloud at all in that sequence. It will cause more stress. It will cause more trauma at the end of the day, because at that point you're trying to force more of an issue where it becomes harder for the real Cloud to come out. It becomes harder for Tifa to help heal him. That's why I don't think it works in this scenario, because it's supposed to heal Cloud. That's the whole point of the Lifestream sequence. It's not supposed to just keep putting trauma, keep putting other things in it, right? That would make the situation way worse and make it a harder job for Tifa. I understand that people want Aerith involved, but it just doesn't make sense, because the only person who knows the real Cloud, or at least somewhat of what the real Cloud actually is Tifa. Aerith is still searching, and one of the, sad parts of it is that she could never find the real Cloud. And that's what makes it sad. Now, I understand that some people believe that, they will switch it up, that they will change it, right? For the most part that we have seen in Rebirth, they have kept a lot of the things pretty much the same. There's not really much difference except for how scenarios play out. Maybe some of the scenarios change. And you can argue that they will do the same thing with the live stream sequence. However, if you remember in the Gagaga chapter when Tifa falls in the live stream, we see already a preview of all the, like almost all the events that happen or will happen in the live stream sequence. We see the water tower, Mount Nebo. We see all the same similar stuff that we see in the OG. And they will add new stuff. We even see stuff from Stargazer Heights, the place that, Cloud lived while in Sector 7. So that's something new. That wasn't actually in the original. But it seems like it's going to be connected in the live stream sequence on a much grander scale. Like, I understand people want Aerith more involved in the live stream sequence, but she's not needed. You don't need her to be part of that, right? You don't need to have Aerith in that subconscious. You don't need to have Cloud have that revelation that he could not save Aerith in the live stream sequence, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be something where it heals Cloud. This is like, again, the live stream sequence, and some people seem to forget this sometimes, is that it's in his subconscious. It's in his mind. Tifa's pushing away, all the fake personas that Cloud has put on to try to find the real Cloud, to give you like a good image of what she's trying to do there. And it's, like I said, it's also a healing process for Tifa, because all this time she's also confused about her own memories, about and about what happened at Nibelheim and all that stuff. And it also helps heal her in finding out the truth and reuniting with the person she cares about. Like, she literally cares about Cloud very much. It's said in Tracer 2 Paths, and you could see it throughout the game, that she really does care a lot about Cloud. Like, Cloud is like a really important person to her. This isn't about shipping. It's about the two characters themselves and their character arcs. And the live stream sequence is essentially that conclusion. So if any way that they do decide to do anything with the live stream sequence that could add Aerith or even Zack for this instance, this is just like a personal opinion of what they could do. And that is that when Cloud and Tifa fall into the live stream, they will be both in the subconscious. Their bodies will still be floating in the live stream, but they will be, with each other, right? What could happen is that we know Sephiroth is in the live stream. Sephiroth could try to stop Tifa from, finding the real Cloud. But instead of, Sephiroth being able to get to him, Zack and Aerith, who are in the live stream, if we're going with this direction, this route of like where Aerith and Zack are, they could, fight Sephiroth to prevent him from getting into Cloud's subconscious. It's not about getting to Cloud in the live stream. It's about getting into his subconscious where Tifa is at that moment to try to bring the real Cloud back. So in the end, I think they could definitely write something where like they could have Aerith or Zack involved in it, but I don't think they will, because I know that they really cherish the live stream sequence a lot. It's one of their favorite sequences in the entire game. And they already show previews of just how much care they are putting into it. Like the Cries of the Planet theme playing during the live stream sequence is just masterful. It is such a beautifully written song. This isn't about shipping. This isn't about Aerith or who you like, Aerith or Tifa. It's nothing about that. It's about the story itself and the healing process and the healing sequence that is the live stream sequence. So I don't see Cloud getting that revelation as part of that sequence. It just doesn't help Cloud in any way. It just dumps more trauma onto Cloud, which will make it a harder job for Tifa and the entire sequence itself. I don't want to use the word contradict, because I don't think it's the right word, but what it does is it doesn't help. It really does not help the situation at all, because at the end of the day, the live stream sequence is all about healing Cloud, healing his identity crisis, healing his trauma, and everything else he was put through with all that happened to him. And really, it just, to me, it doesn't make really much sense to have that revelation there. It makes sense to have it on North Crater when he finally has that mental breakdown, because that would be like a really shocking thing that he realizes. and it will cause him to like panic and like go crazy and like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it, I didn't actually save Earth, oh my god, you know. So it just doesn't make any sense to me personally. I know there's the debate going on. Like I said, they could change stuff, you know, they could change the way the sequence goes, but it's just hard to see that with how much they enjoy the sequence and how much they cherish it. So it just doesn't seem like it's plausible. So let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my, you know, thoughts about Final Fantasy VII and stuff. And hopefully you have a great and lovely rest of your day. And thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.